at navigating mental health challenges through everyday life. So I really want to appreciate Sustainable Africa for thinking about such an awesome theme, especially in this our own day and time. So right now we're going to the presentation, navigating mental health challenges in everyday life. Of course, we know that so many things happen every single day of our lives, and this can have a negative impact as far as our mental health is concerned. And it's very important that we try as much as possible to prioritize our mental health. So I have outline here talking about the introduction, signs and symptoms, the challenges, and how to cope. So first of all, I would like to define what health is. According to WHO, health is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just the absence of diseases or infirmities. The complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just the absence of disease or infirmities. This is to tell you that you cannot be complete without your mental health status being in place. That is to say that mental health plays a very huge role as far as your overall well-being is concerned. So I'm reading from my first slide. It says that the state of being emotionally, psychologically, and socially well is referred to as mental health. And the ability of an individual to adjust to daily pressures is a common indicator of mental health quality. So that is to say, we need to be able to handle everyday pressures effectively so that it's not going to drain us. And mental health affect our ability to be able to function effectively in other areas of our lives, such as our relationships, such as engaging in daily activities as well. So briefly, I will define mental health. Mental health encompasses your overall emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Now, it's more than just the absence of mental illness. It's not because for some people, they feel that, okay, when you mention mental health or when you talk about the state of one's mental health, that you are talking about mental illness. No, they are two different things. Everybody has mental health. So it's either your mental health is good or it's a poor one. But we should not confuse it with mental illness. They are two different things entirely. Now, mental health can be positive and can also be negative. So, for example, you can have a good mental health and be fine, and you can have a poor mental health and not have mental illness. Just as I said, that mental health and mental illness, they are two different things. So you can have a poor mental health and not have mental illness. So what does well-being has to do? Your well-being includes your state of mental and emotional affairs influenced by your life experiences. So briefly, I'll talk about mental illness because so many people confuse mental illness and mental health. Now, mental illness, they're also called mental health conditions or mental disorders. And the most distinct thing about it is that they are diagnosable conditions. That is to say, you cannot say that you have mental illness without being diagnosed by your professional. So before you can say that someone has mental illness, that means such person must have been diagnosed by his or her health professional. So, and these conditions, when you talk about mental health disorders, these conditions or these disorders, that means they now affect your ability to perform your daily activities. That is to say, they now last for a long period of time, more than required. And some of these mental illnesses include things like depressive disorders. Depressive disorders, they are different from depression. It's okay for one to be depressed, but when it crosses a line in which it starts affecting your daily life, in which it starts lasting for a long period of time, in which you cannot function effectively in other areas of your life, and you become diagnosed, then it is referred to as depressive disorders. We also have anxiety disorders. Being anxious, it is a different thing entirely. Okay, you have maybe an exam upcoming, you have an interview, you're anxious about it. It's different from you having an anxiety disorder in which it's just fear of the unknown and it keeps happening repeatedly. Also, under the mental illness category, we have the bipolar disorder, we have schizophrenia, when people start hearing voices that other people around them cannot hear. They start seeing things that other people around them cannot see. They start, when they watch news, they feel like the person who is broadcasting the news is talking about them. When they go out, they feel that people are talking about them. They feel that somebody is inserting thoughts into them. Somebody is withdrawing their thoughts. Different kind of things. Eating disorders is also part of mental illness. For some people, they just feel that okay, I'm too I'm too overweight, or my body mass index is so high, and so they begin to starve themselves and say that okay, they don't want to eat, they want to starve themselves. It's not normal, especially you saying you want to. Fasting is different from you saying that okay, you want to completely shut down the way you eat, and then you are targeting someone in mind. Maybe you have a role model and you just want to be like the person in terms of your weight. And most times there are people that they don't really have much weight, because by the time they measure their BMI, it goes below normal. Also, another thing is obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder just means that one is obsessed with some actions. It's different for you to think that okay, you want to go out and something's just telling you that did I lock the door? Didn't I lock it? Okay, then you go back and check. It's different from you doing that kind of thing repeatedly, maybe about 5 times, 10 times, and you keep checking, you keep checking, you keep checking, you keep checking, you keep checking. Then you need to see a professional. So, in summary, mental health refers to anyone's state of mental and emotional well being, while mental illnesses are specific, diagnosable conditions that affect your thoughts and behaviors. So, now going to the signs and symptoms. What are the signs of mental health issues? Some of these signs may not be caused by a serious problem. In fact, some of them could even be a normal part of life. But if they don't seem to go away for about 2 weeks thereabouts, or you see that it's affecting your effectivity and the ability for you to be able to do things well, or to maximize things, or to handle time, then you need to seek for help. So number one thing is excessive fear or uneasiness. You're feeling afraid, you're panicking, you're nervous. Another thing, mood changes, inability to express joy, you're indifferent to situations. Things happen and people around you, they're happy, they're excited. But for you, you just feel like, why are they even happy? What was making them to smile? Feelings of hopelessness, laughter at inappropriate times for no reason, or even thoughts of suicide. Other things includes problems thinking, like you're not able to concentrate. You have problems affecting your thoughts, your memory, your speech. You cannot even sleep well. You have sleeping disorders, you're gaining weight excessively, you're losing weight excessively, you are being more quiet than usual, you withdraw yourself from people. When you're around people or at a gathering, you tend to withdraw yourself from others because you just feel that you want to be alone. Nobody around you is understanding what you are going through, and you feel that okay, let me just be on my own. Emotional outburst. Yes, we get angry at some things, but when it gets to a level in which people around you are like, you don't need to get angry over such issue. It's just a minor issue. But to you, you feel like, no, 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 you're angry at doing that. Then you need to search yourself thoroughly and seek for help if necessary. Then also neglect and performance, where there's tendency for one to neglect oneself when you start having issues concerning your mental health. Bizarre or strange thoughts. I mentioned earlier that people start hearing voices. Sometimes they hear voices about someone talking directly to them, about maybe two people gathering and talking about them, like, okay, she's going out now, he's going out now, he's driving his car, okay, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Or they start feeling strange movements on their body. There's nothing moving on their body, but they start feeling as if, okay, there's something moving on my body. They start smelling things that are not there, different kind of things. Then one needs to seek for help. Insomnia, condition in which people have difficulty in sleeping. So the person is awake, you're not able to sleep, the quality of your sleep is very low, then you need to seek for help. Narcolepsy, a condition that causes drowsiness during the day. That is to say, when the person is supposed to be efficient during the day, the person starts feeling drowsy, feeling dizzy. It's different from the person being ill or being tired or being stressed out, but just that feeling of drowsiness and unexpected falling asleep. Please, can you still hear me? Just want to cross check. Please, can
Yes,
you
we
still
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Then another thing is restless leg syndrome. That's a condition that causes you to just move your legs, you feel uncomfortable sensations around your leg and you start moving them. Then you need to seek for help. Now, what are mental challenges that occur in people's lives? Number one is life contentment. We all have different aspirations, dreams, desires, goals that we want to achieve. Of course, when we're shouting Happy New Year, in fact, before Happy New Year, around December, people start saying, okay, I have New Year resolutions. These are the things I want to do. I want to set long term goals, short term goals. But there are tendencies for those things not to be forthcoming or you're not seeing the results that you want. And there's tendency for you to put yourself under unnecessary pressure that, okay, I don't even think I'm doing well enough. My mates are ahead of me. I don't think I'm doing well. Something's just wrong. I'm not happy. That feeling of not being contented, yes, tends to surface, now which can affect one's mental health challenges. I was telling someone that life, you can't really say that, okay, these are the things I want to do, and then you give yourself time and say, okay, I want everything to be done. Where some of those things can be done, but there will still be little things. And what you should know that every single person on the surface of the earth goes through one problem or the other. That is it. Nobody has it all. Nobody has it all. The kind of issues or challenges that maybe a billionaire like Tony Lumelo would face is different from somebody that, okay, is still thinking that, what am I going to eat tomorrow? What am I going to wear tomorrow? I need to change my shoes. I need to do that. People have different challenges that they are going through. Forget the fact that social media is promoting people maybe having soft life and all that. People only project out what they want you to see. Things behind the scene, they won't put it there because they just want to feed you with whatever they will feed that, okay, you're expecting from them. We'll just take this picture, okay, I'm smiling, this one, that's it. So you need to be contented. Sometimes when you look, you are like, my colleagues have gone ahead. We took the same jam form together. Now some of them have gotten jobs. This person has bought car, has done this. This person has given birth to 2 kids. This person is now outside the country, is in Europe, is in Canada, and like, God, when? God, why? There's tendency for us to just compare our lives like, what's really happening? But one thing you should know is that there are people, even behind you, that are just seeking to just be at that position that you have now, and are just like, let me just have half of what you have. Let me just give me that. I will know how to maximize it. I'll be okay. And another thing you should think about is life. There's this saying that when there is life, there is hope. It's more than just that saying, because if you say that, okay, things are not working well, and then you decide to commit suicide, that's the end. But if you're alive, you've heard of people, especially young guys, young boys in slum areas that people picked up, they touched them up, and now they are making impact. What if they had committed suicide? That would have been the end. So you need to be contented at every stage of life that you have. Be contented and not put yourself under pressure. Another point is not being resilient. As I said earlier, that things happen, challenges happen, obstacles happen, but you need to be resilient and say, yes, it is time for me to bounce back. It is time for me to get back on my feet and not to give up. Lack of support. Lack of support can prepare people towards experiencing mental health challenges. If someone is suffering from a kind of medical condition and people are not there to support, to check on him, to give him help, and he feels lonely, there's tendency for that person to start having mental health challenges. Another thing is flexibility, not being flexible. If you're going to have a good mental health status, you need to be flexible that, okay, this is what I was expecting, but this was actually what happened. Then try to see, okay, what ways can I maneuver and move on and see how to improve, how to build on this, how to improve myself, and then you move on. prejudice is there some certain places in which maybe because of one's age, race, ethnicity, or even gender, people don't have access to the same opportunity that others have. Of course, we still have certain parts in some states that they feel that okay, the females are not supposed to be educated or they are not supposed to go to school or maybe because of this they're not supposed to have access to this. This can have effect on their mental health. Then also substance use. Yes, a lot of youth get involved in substance use, alcohol intake, majorly because of peer pressure. Some of them may feel like, okay, my friend, okay, is doing this, is a big boy. Okay, let me too, let me roll with the boys, let me do this, let me just try and impress. What they don't tell you is that sometimes they get to a point in which they feel that okay, let me just do away with these things and live a normal life because it's going to affect your mental health. Even the ones that will not affect your mental health would even affect your organs. You can't expect somebody who has been smoking every day for about 15 years and then suddenly decide to quit. By the time the person clocks 50 years or 60 years, that is when those things, the effects will start surfacing and then they say that okay, this person has lung cancer, this person has problem with breathing. And by that time, sometimes, most times they're irreversible. So no matter the amount of money the person has and says, okay, you want to do lung transplant. How many people are doing lung transplants in Nigeria? How many people do want to say, okay, how many doctors are doing lung transplant? And it's even going to cost a lot. So substance use can affect one's mental health. You're unable to think straight. You know, when people say, okay, they are high on cocaine, they are high on drugs, and then they start taking irrational decisions which affect them. Another thing is low salary. Like low salary can causes people to have mental health challenges because you feel like okay, this salary is not enough for me to cater for my wants, for my needs. It's not enough for me to even save. So it can have effect. Also, lack of access to quality healthcare services. Imagine someone who needs prompt attention to the condition they are having to be treated, and there is no access to quality health services and they are stranded, it can have effect on their mental health. Another thing, poor self-esteem, poor social skills. When people have low self-esteem, it can affect them mentally. Now, briefly, I'm going to be talking about stress. Stress. We all go through stress, and what you should know about is that stress is a universal occurrence. Everybody experiences stress. Everybody does. Don't ever feel that okay, some people are just there, or maybe for example, now okay, there's a lot of it going on around. There's a lot of it going on around in Nigeria, and you're like, ah, people with AC, they are really enjoying. They are not going to stress. What you don't know is that they have another level of stress that they are facing. For some people, it might be like, ah, okay, I don't have to be stressed. Like, okay, you need to go to work very early in the morning. Around maybe you need to get to work like 7 o'clock, and you need to be in the traffic. Wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and you're like, ah, it's so stressful. You snooze the alarm 3 times. After waking up, you drag yourself to the bathroom, you freshen up. Then you get to where you need to board the bus again, and you start hustling for the bus, and you get inside the bus again, and the conductor is acting somehow, stepping on your toes, and you're hungry. You get to your place of work again. They said, okay, we have new tasks for us and you need to meet the deadlines and you're supposed to have a test and you're like, oh God, I'm not even ready. Your own stress, you that you are preparing for exam is different from somebody who is stressed at work that needs tasks to be completed. The person who's stressed at work, the person's stress is different from somebody who is looking for a job and has been applying over and over again. It's different from a mother who feels that okay, I need to go and pick up my children at 2 p.m. and I need to cook, I need to do that. It's different from maybe a billionaire who feels that okay, money is not my problem, but I experience stress with the numerous meetings I have moving from here and there. Everybody experiences stress at some point or the other. So don't ever think that you are the only one. You are not alone in this. So stress can be defined as any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. Stress is your body's response to anything that requires attention or action. So that's to say anything that needs attention or action that can have a huge strain on your body is referred to as stress. That's just the meaning. Stress. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of stress? Changes in mood. You start getting irritated. Your friend calls you. Oh, how are you? How was it? Like, please just leave me. Just leave me. I need to rest. I'm stressed already. stress. Clammy or sweaty palms. Some people experience sweaty palms when they're stressed. When you look at their palms, become sweaty. Some people even have diarrhea. Diarrhea in the sense that, okay, you have maybe a job interview and like, okay, you have just 20 minutes. Maybe you got there like 1 hour before and you're sitting with other people and they're calling people one after the other and you feel like, okay, it's almost your turn. You don't feel comfortable. You're like, please excuse me, I need to use the toilet. I need to use the toilet. That is stress in this diarrhea. And there are different mechanisms that are responsible for that. I will not go into that because of that time. Difficulty sleeping. When some people are stressed, they find it difficult to sleep because they think, they ponder over it. Dizziness, feeling anxious, headaches, low energy, physical aches and pains as well, and even tremblings and heart racing as well. So talking about the types of stress, not all types of stress are harmful or even negative. First, I'll talk about acute stress. Acute stress is a very short-term type of stress that can either be positive or more distressing. And it's the kind of stress that we experience in our daily life. Just as I said, okay, you need to board bus to your place of work, you need to take maybe a bike to somewhere, you need to go to the market, and then maybe you, for example, you get to the market and you want to buy maybe tomatoes, and then you find out that, okay, the price has increased. I'm like, why? And the person is saying, if you don't want to buy, please just go away. Go somewhere. I'm like, you're sending us away. Is this how to approach a customer? And the person is hungry or all insulting words at you. You just feel like, okay, what's all this? So acute stress. But by the time you get to, or maybe you get your tomatoes from somewhere else, you cook it, you eat it, you forget about the stress and you move. Acute stress, just for a short term that we encounter in our daily life. Chronic stress. Chronic stress is that stress that seems never unending. So it's like the kind of stress that it doesn't look as if it's going to end soon. Like a chronic one, like the stress of a bad marriage. You know, the stress of a bad marriage affects you every day. Every day you wake up, you're like, okay, this imagine someone in an abusive marriage that is being beaten by the husband every single day. So she wakes up, she knows that, okay, maybe 8 p.m. today, this man is going to beat me. If he does not find the student, he's going to beat me. Chronic stress, chronic stress can also stem from traumatic experiences. Different people have experienced different traumatic experiences. Some people were raped when they were little. Some people they experienced trauma, maybe armed robbers visited their homes, shot their relatives, and they can't seem to get such images out of their head. Another type of stress is episodic acute stress. It's a form of acute stress, but it's like an ongoing kind of distress. Eustress. What is eustress? Eustress is fun and exciting. It's the kind of stress that, oh, you saw your result and then you were like, God, I was not expecting it. Oh, thank God for this result. Oh, fine. Or you are going on your vacation and you're so excited with your friends. You want to celebrate your birthday party. You are looking forward to it, a new job. That kind of happiness, that kind of excitement that, oh wow, this thing, that's a positive kind of stress. So stress can be positive or negative. Positive stressors and negative stressors. Negative stressors, negative experiences, negative triggers. Positive stressors, things that lighten up your mood, that you get excited about. You know, you're looking forward to maybe a cousin that you've not seen for the past 10 years and the person is coming home and you're prepared. That kind of joy, that kind of happiness, it is fun and exciting. That is eustress. Now, what are the effects of stress? Number one, psychological effect. So stress can affect you when you need to concentrate on things. If you are going through stress and you are not able to handle it or control it, it starts affecting you. You have difficulty in concentrating. Even if there's a particular task for you to carry out, your mind will be divided, your focus will not be there. You won't be able to give it 100%. And that's why you see some people that when they're supposed to carry out a task, when they're supposed to do something collectively, there's somebody telling them that, oh, you forgot that, you didn't pick up that. You're like, oh, sorry, I forgot this. So it can have psychological effect on you, anxiety, trouble remembering things. Things happened before yesterday, and you're like, I can't even remember. I don't even seem to understand. Another thing, emotional signs such as being angry, irritated, moody, or frustrated. You are just frustrated. Yes, as I said earlier, that things happen. Government might be doing somehow, the economic situation might not be going on well, but you still need to take care of your mental health, because the truth is that this thing is just for a phase. By the time this phase passes and everything goes back to okay, would you still be in the right state of mind? Your mental health still be in place? Because if you say that okay, you want to break down because of what is going on, because of the hardship, because of the challenges, after this phase goes away and another positive phase comes into place, are you still going to be able to benefit from the new change that is going to happen? So you need to take care of your mental health. I've talked about psychological effects, emotional effects, physical effects can lead to somebody having high blood pressure. And then you know the disturbing thing about this thing is that by the time that stress sets in and you start having high blood pressure, then you now need to switch to medication. You need to start taking medication every day of your life, medication. Changes in weight, infections. Even in fact, stress can affect one's menstrual cycle and can affect a man's libido as well. Stress. So that is to say, stress goes a long way. Other signs, behavioral effect, poor self-care. One is not paying attention to one's hygiene. You're not doing the things you enjoy. One is relying on drugs and even on alcohol to cope. So how do you cope with stress? Stress can be manageable. The thing is that you cannot eliminate stress as far as you're on the surface of the heart. Forget it that you can eliminate stress. As I said earlier, that stress to A is different from B. The way C perceives stress is different from the way D will perceive stress. So stress differs. The kind of stress that we experience differs depending on our environment, depending on where we are, depending on the things that we experience. So, but you need to understand that stress is not going to disappear. You just need to manage stress. And how can you manage stress? You need to understand the triggers of stress. For some people, just maybe being on a high mountain, or maybe close to anything flowing like water, river, there are phobias for it and the trigger stress. You can avoid the triggers. Know your triggers and avoid them. If you feel that okay, you need to prepare, you need to read, and after reading for 5 hours, you start getting, then take breaks in between. Take breaks in between, because your mental health is very important. So you need to understand your triggers. You need to recognize the signs of burnout. We really need to recognize the signs of burnout. Most of us we just keep doing things until the time that okay, they now say that oh, that person fainted, that person collapsed. What has been going on? You should have said this, you should have said that. Recognize the signs of burnout. And it's important to understand that whatever you are doing, know that there's somebody out there that can replace you. All what people will just say is that, oh, and this person was a good person, this person was very efficient when the person was there. They will look for somebody else. So you need to prioritize your health, most especially your mental health, first of all. So know your triggers, recognize the signs of burnout, laugh it out. Laugh it out. You know, there are people that no matter the amount of jokes they listen to, you know, I've seen people short clips online, Instagram, and people are commenting, oh wow, this is nice. You see people that what was even making them to smile, what was funny, what I'm like, laugh it out. No, there's no award for you frowning every day. Yes, things might not go the way you want, but try and smile, smile. You know, they say laughter is the best medicine. Yeah, I miss people that are doing things exciting. Have fun, enjoy it, relax your mind. Another thing is make a schedule. If you are feeling so overwhelmed with activities, with things you need to do, then make a schedule, prioritize it. You need to attend to your business, you need to work, you need to go to school, you need to do this, you need to go to church, go to mosque, you need to go to the market, you need to help your dad out. Just make a schedule, prioritize the things that you need to do first, prioritize it. Then you can be able to keep track of the things you need to do on time and things that you can always do later. Practice self-care. Taking care of ourselves looks different for all of us. So you need to prioritize self-care. Self-care is very important. You can never, there's nothing like you over pampering yourself. You can never over pamper yourself. Practice self-care. If you are looking out for others, yes, it is good to look out for others, but you need to look out for yourself too. Try to get regular exercise. I'll talk about this later. Take care of yourself. It is very, very important. Take care of your mind. your body and discover how to keep yourself to your best life. So now we're talking about anxiety. What is anxiety? It's a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. So as I said, the way it differs from stress is that stress just something you just feel that okay, this is having kind of strain on me mentally, especially daily things. You sleep, you forget about it, you move on. Except the type of stress which can be chronic, that say last a long period of time. But for anxiety, you're just not sure of what is in front. You're just not sure of the outcome. Like you're thinking, you're imagining like, okay, what if things turn out in a negative way? Types of anxiety. We have different kinds of anxiety. Talk about anticipatory anxiety. Anticipatory anxiety, like for example, you're going for a social event and you're like, ah, I don't know how this thing is going to turn out. I don't know how this. Maybe you're going for a conference and like, I just don't. I just have this feeling about this conference. I don't know. Should I go or should I not go? Should I stay? And you make up your mind to get like, I don't even know. I just feel kind of date. You have a date with someone, you're like, okay, let's meet so and you're like, ah, I don't even know. What if she doesn't like me? What if he doesn't like me? What if something happens? Work meetings, you have a meeting at your place of work, and you're like, okay, is it me that they want to talk about? Is it this? You have a presentation, you have an engagement, you have job interviews, and you're scared that what is going to be the outcome. Generalized anxiety is that generalized from the word generalized like general. Generalized anxiety disorder refers to the kind of disorder in which you are just worried about everything. Really cannot place something specific concerning that. Okay, this is one thing that I have anxiety about. Everything generally. So, and when it lasts a long period of time, you need to seek for help. You need to seek for help. Don't take it with levity. Another thing is panic. It's a type of anxiety that involves sudden and intense feelings of fear. Now, when this panic becomes panic disorders, in which you really cannot do things, when you are supposed to do something, you start panicking, and then what people say unable to calm you down, the environment is not calming you down. Please seek for help. Seek for help. Performance anxiety involves anxiety related to a person's ability to perform a specific task, sometimes known as stage fright. So for people when they feel like okay, they need to perform maybe in front of a large crowd, they start having this anxiety that ah, what if I mess up? What if I just suddenly stumble on the stage? What if the mic stops working? What if? All what you just have to do is bring all the what ifs together and put solutions under them. Another thing is separational anxiety. Separational anxiety majorly occurs for children, especially maybe when the parents, when they divorce and then they go their separate ways, and maybe the brother is with the father, the daughter is with the mother, things like that. Social anxiety, as I said, social anxiety, maybe being in front of people, you need to go out to the market and like, what if people around the street are looking at me? What if people, that kind of thing. So how do you cope? Number one, you can get involved in doing breathing exercises or meditation. Meditation, most of us will overlook the power of meditation. Meditation goes a long way. Just find a quiet place. You don't need to go to where where the waves are displaying or go to the beach. It might just be in the comfort of your room. Just find a quiet place. Sit down with your back straight in a comfortable position. Then take a deep breath, then release it, inhale, exhale, and do that repeatedly and close your eyes. You will see how effectively these things, how they go. Breathing exercises, just do that. Meditate, breathe in, breathe out, just close your eyes, just focus. It goes a long way. Another thing is cognitive reframing. Instead of you telling yourself that, okay, I knew it was not going to happen this way, I knew it was going to crumble, I knew this is, just see things from a positive perspective. Okay, this has happened. How do we move on? What is the way out? Another thing is socialize. Don't let worries isolate you from loved ones or activities. You have anxiety, you're anxious about something, tell somebody, voice it out. Tell somebody. Forget the fact that people say when you tell one person your problem, the whole world hears. Okay, but if you keep it to yourself, that does not offer solution. Just look for somebody that you can confide in and talk to. Also, keep a journal. Keeping track of your personal life can help you to identify what's causing the anxiety and help you to feel better as well. Another thing is aromatherapy, where people make use of scents, oils that when they perceive it, it just calms them down. That is also effective. What are the don'ts when you're suffering from anxiety? Do not try to do everything at once. Set small targets that you can easily achieve. Yes, we said goals. Don't put the long term goals into short term goals. And then when the short term goals, maybe you give yourself 3 months. When it's remaining just 1 week, you start putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. That, no, 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 I need to do this. No, do not put yourself under such kind of pressure. Number two, do not focus on the things you cannot change. There are just some things that are beyond your control that you cannot change, especially things that has to do with maybe like government involvement or maybe your your workplace or something around you that you know that okay you cannot influence the decisions and the decisions is from the people ruling at the top. So just focus on the things you can change. Do not avoid situations as much as possible that you try to look out for the triggers. The situations that make you anxious, try slowly on how to see how you can fit in by reducing such anxiety. If, for example, now you have social anxiety, you cannot say that, okay, I have social anxiety, so I cannot talk to people. No, you need to look at it, okay, how can I do that? How can I work on myself? How can I how can I improve on myself? You have generalized anxiety disorder. Just feel anxious about life, about everything, uncertainty in every areas of life. You need to look at it and strategize. Okay, what is happening? And when you feel that you cannot handle this, then you seek for help. Depression. Yes, at different points of our life, we get depressed. It's okay for you to be depressed. It's okay for one to be depressed. But when it becomes a depressive disorder, then it becomes a danger. As I said, things happen that we don't wish for or that are not in alignment with what we want. But you still need to cope with it. You need to. So how do you cope with depression? Keep your routine, maybe a daily self-care routine for yourself to help you balance your moods. Another thing is stay physically active. Stay physically active. Research has shown that for as low as 15 minutes physical activity a day, it can help in boosting your mental well-being. So you can do light exercise, just take a walk. You don't need to go to the gym and say maybe you need to pay a certain amount of money. Just take a walk. Maybe in the evening, stroll out. Of course, you need to know the kind of areas where you need to take a walk, not somewhere that, maybe they will say they carry this person away, they can't find this person. No. Take a walk outside. Organize your environment as well. When your place of rest, especially your room or your house is untidy, there's just tendency for you to lose interest in any kind of activity, anything you want to do for that day. So another thing I'll talk about is coping with grief. Coping with grief. Coping with grief is such a difficult thing. I've experienced it before because there was a time in which I lost my cousin. I think it was just a 23-year-old undergraduate. And all of a sudden, he just fell ill in school. And then before we knew it, they rushed him to the hospital. Just happened within a week. Everything, pa, 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 pa. And he died. And it looked like a dream, like, this person, we heard from this person last week. Well, now the person is gone. So coping with grief can really be very, very difficult. And what do you need to do? You need to seek out for social support. Do not isolate yourself. When you isolate yourself, you can harm yourself, you can hurt yourself. You can hurt yourself. Then also remember to try as much as possible to eat. Yes, it might sound somehow, but you need to try as much as possible to eat because when you don't eat, when other conditions set in, you will need to also manage those conditions, and that would also have another kind of effect on your mental health. So you need to try as much as possible to eat to boost your immune system as well. Then try professional help or support group. When we go through unique experiences of grief, it may be helpful to seek out a licensed professional or other community members who are going through a similar grief process because they'll be able to, people will say that, yes, you are consoling somebody that maybe the dad was involved in a car accident. Have you ever experienced it before? This and that. But when you're able to relate with someone or has passed through such experience, you can comfort each other. You can be on the lookout for each other as well. So, wrapping up my presentation, how do we manage everyday challenges? How do we manage it? So, I'll just talk about some tips before we wrap up. The first thing is that understand that challenges do occur and that you are not alone. As I said earlier, you are not alone. You are never alone. You are never alone. The first thing, physical exercise, just as I said earlier, take a walk. If you can jog, do jogging. If you can skip in your room, you don't need to go out. Even sometimes you can just do light exercises in your room, stretch your hands, stretch your legs, everything. It goes a long way on your mental health. What are the benefits of you doing exercise? It release your hormones to be it release your hormones to work well in your body. Then it stimulates happier moods. Like you just feel happy kind of. It improves your confidence and self-esteem. It reduces stress and anxiety. It improves your sleep. It also improves your concentration and focus. And for some people too, they're able to make new friends. When they jog, when they go to the gym, when they go there, oh, you make new friends. Benefits of exercise. Another thing that can help you manage everyday challenges is sleep, adequate sleep. Now, sleep is different from quality and adequate sleep. Some of us, when we just come back, you're tired from school, from work, you just land on your bed and say, okay, till tomorrow. There's a way in which you can invest in your sleep pattern and make it a quality one. Number one thing is invest in your beddings. The kind of beddings that you have, what kind of bedding do you sleep on? If it's something that you need to change, you don't need you see some of these things, you don't need to get maybe 1 million to do all these things. Just get a comfy bedding for your bed. Change it. Then when you see it, you know there are some beddings that when you see them you might be seeing skull, the head of some even that one self can really be frightening. You'll be like, okay, the kind of dream you have to do. So invest in your bedding, comfy clothing materials, invest in it, take a warm shower, change the comfy pajamas. You don't need thousands of naira to buy pajamas or maybe a nightgown. Change it to your comfy pajamas. If you need to brush your teeth, which is very important, but of course, you cannot impose that on one another. But it's important. When you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you feel fresh, you feel relaxed from the day stress because the day stress can be overwhelming. Then you relax. So invest in quality sleep and also reduce eating close to bedtime. For some people, when they want to sleep, maybe you want to sleep at 10 and that's when you now want to eat maybe
For this important.
sorry.
No, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so you need to reduce eating close to bedtime. It's not that you want to sleep at 10 o'clock and that's when you now remember you need to cook beans at 8:30 and then after eating a large and you're not even eating small quantity. You eat bread and beans with everything and immediately you go to sleep. You can eat it prior to the time that you need to sleep. Reduce eating close to bedtime. Then eat healthily. It's important for us to eat healthily, especially fruit and vegetables. You don't need a large amount of money to purchase fruit and vegetables. Buy fruits, buy vegetables. You can even make out a schedule for yourself that okay, if I cannot eat fruit every day, which is important for you to do, you can say okay, maybe just 3 times in a week, let me take fruits. Orange on Monday, banana on Wednesday, pawpaw on Saturday, or you just dedicate weekends to eating fruit if you know you cannot do it every day. Then cut down on your sugar. Cut down your sugar, less salt. Eat breakfast. Stay hydrated. I forgot to add when I was talking about physical exercise, as much as possible that we try to tell people maybe when they are sick that okay, take these medications, do this, do that. We try as much as possible to say that people should engage in lifestyle modification. There's nothing that can be compared to lifestyle modification. When I say lifestyle modification, I mean that things that you can do naturally that can have a positive effect on your mental health. For somebody suffering from hypertension, yes, we tell them take your medications regularly, come for checkup, come for follow-up. When you notice any signs, brain or vision, headache, come. But we still encourage them to cut down on salt diets and also do a lot of exercise. So most of these things, when we put them into practice, physical exercise, staying healthy, eating a lot of fruit and vegetables, it's not just promoting your mental health, but also your physical health as well. Then also stay hydrated. You need to stay hydrated constantly. Drink water every now and then. Drink water, stay hydrated. Avoid drugs and alcohol. I don't know how many times I will need to say this, but please avoid drugs and alcohol, especially alcohol. Don't let me say especially both drugs and alcohol, because it will affect your mental capacity. And you know what alcohol does? Alcohol does not just it doesn't only, it just gives you that feeling of okay, at this moment with my friends I'm enjoying it, but it affects your liver. You see people suffering from 50 years old, 60 years old, suffering from chronic liver disease. And maybe when they were young, in their 30s, in their 20s, they used to take alcohol, but now it's late. And then some of them, they don't even recover. You don't want that kind of thing. Please avoid drugs and alcohol. Another thing, try volunteering in your community. You can volunteer in your community, you can volunteer in an organization, you can do that. That is a huge way to help in promoting your mental health. Another thing, learn coping skills. Learning healthy coping mechanisms to manage stress can go a long way. So just as I said, find humor in your everyday life. Get support from your loved ones. Do not isolate yourself, please. Do not isolate yourself. What you should know is that everybody is going through one thing or the other. So the person you feel that, oh, Janet has everything going on well for her, Collins has everything going on well for her, Mohammed is doing well, everybody's doing well. They have things that they are going through. They might not even tell you, but they have it. So do not isolate yourself. Social interaction can reduce our stress levels and also improve the symptoms of depression. Another thing is positive outlook. Be optimistic. Be optimistic. Don't just dwell on the current thing now. Look ahead that the future is bright, that good things will happen to you. Expect good things to work out for you. Don't just see challenges alone, see solutions, and also develop a mind of gratitude as well. Practice gratitude. As I said, you are not where you picture your mind to be. I'm not where I picture my mind to be yet. You are not there yet, but you need to practice gratitude. Live a life of gratitude. There are people that are like, okay, I want to be where they are now, but there are still people behind it that are like, let me just get to the level at which you are now. So practice gratitude. It's like you're in the middle. Practice gratitude more than anything. That you're alive, you can open your eyes, you can hear, you can see. Practice gratitude, please. It is very, very important. Then also write down your positive emotions. Write down things that can help improve your optimism. Write them down. You when you listen to music, you feel elated, you feel happy. Just note those things that stir up your emotions positively. Also, purpose. Living a life of purpose is very important. Don't just say that you want to live a life in which okay, I just want to go to school, after school, then earn money, then okay, then work, then go back home, home work. Live a life of purpose. How can you
Thank
impact
you,
people
ma.
around you?
Sorry
How
to
can
cut
you,
you off. Ma, sorry to cut you off.
sorry?
Following on again. I said sorry to cut you off. If you can speed up the round up so that we can go for question and answer.
Yes, I should be done in the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
No.
So please, it's important that we live a life of purpose. Like, how can you make impact? You don't need millions to make impact. It might just be in your neighborhood. You just need to talk to maybe some young boys, help them, look at their challenges, speak to them in your community. Live a life of purpose. And living a life of purpose starts with you knowing the things that you are good at. You can develop skills, maximize your potential, things you enjoy doing, and you can find out by things you love. Social impact, which is very important. Spend time thinking about some of your best memories too of your life. When you feel down, when you feel depressed, just reminisce over the positive things. Maybe when you did something and people congratulated you and people really told you how good you did it, how you put your best to do it. Just recall about the positive things. Then also identify your strengths. Identify your strengths, build on your strengths, and also your weakness. Try to work on them. Practice forgiveness. You need to practice forgiveness. You need to let go of people that have hurt you in the past. That's the way to move forward. You practice forgiveness does not mean that you are weak, but because you know where you are going and you don't want anything to stop you. So practice forgiveness. Let go of past on hurts and anger. Then also, in summary, going to wrap in this up that there are many factors that influence mental health and overall well-being, but your individual factors to play a long way. Yes, environmental factor, social factor, but please, you need to make a conscious decision that you need to prioritize your mental health. And when you're having difficulties in controlling some certain things, please do not hesitate to seek for help from a mental health professional. I'll be wrapping it up with this Chinese proverb that says, you cannot prevent the birds of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building nest in your hair. You cannot prevent the birds of sorrow from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building nest in your hair. Please, as much as possible, try to make a conscious effort to live a life in which you prioritize your mental health every single day because your mental health matters. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Dr. Abimbola, for sharing your knowledge with us. I've learned some valuable lesson, and I believe the audience too have learned as well. And the audience, thanks for staying with us till this moment. And the space for question and asking is open. You can quietly raise up your hand to ask a question. Dr. Abimbola is ready to answer your question. Thank you. Does anyone have any question, please? Hello, does anyone have any question? Okay. Can you please, Mr. Medos and Adamu, can you please mute your mic?
All right.
Or do you have a question?
No, no, no. It's okay.
So can you just, yeah. Okay. Dr. Abimbola, it's me, I have questions on my own that I want to ask. I believe we
Okay.
would share others as well. I want to ask, what are those risk factors that can increase mental health disorder? Like the risk factor that can increase mental health disorder.
Okay, thank you for your question. As I said earlier in my previous slides, when I talk about the things that can trigger it, I talked about when someone does not have support. When you don't have that kind of support that you expect from people, it can trigger mental health disorders. Family history, family history of mental illness. Because research have proven that there are some mental illnesses that run in families that also goes down on the line. You know, for people that have major depressive disorder or people with schizophrenia as well. Schizophrenia, as I said earlier, the person start hearing thoughts, start hearing people talking to him, start seeing things that others are not seeing. So family history goes a long way as a risk factor. Mental health disorders, lack of support is also there. Then when people involved in substance abuse, as I said, substance abuse, alcohol, it's easy for them to start it off, but to just suddenly withdraw from it or to stop from it goes a long way. They are not able to because they become addicted over time, and then the more they try to withdraw, the more they start seeing some negative effects. So this is also a huge risk factor as well that can cause it. Then also, as I said, your expectations when you have expectations of things and the things are not forthcoming or the results you desire, they are not there yet. You try to say that, okay, is not working for me. I just feel low, I feel down, I don't know to do any other thing with my life. These are also risk factors for you. Then the things I talked about, I spoke about depression, anxiety, and stress. Those things, when they get to a level in which you cannot control those things, like it's just a thin line between mental health challenges, mental health conditions, and also talking about mental health illness. Just a thin line. When it crosses to the most of these things that I mentioned earlier are the things that somebody with mental health illness would also experience, but they are not able to control it any longer. They're not able to control it any longer. So that means they need to seek for help. For some people, might be another risk factor can be trauma. Trauma, there's something that we call post-traumatic stress disorder. Somebody who has experienced trauma in times past, maybe rape, maybe house being burgled, maybe being beaten, maybe they shot somebody in front of him. It can affect the person's mental health. So things like that can trigger one to have mental health disorders. I
Thank
don't
you,
know if I've
ma.
answered your
Thank you for the
question.
answer. Yeah, thank you, ma. And I think, Mr. Adamu, do you have a question, please?
Just like I have contribution too, and maybe at the same time we're giving a closing remark. Hello?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just like yeah, just
Before
like
that, sorry, Mr. Adamu, sorry, sorry.
uh,
Um, Thank you, Dr. Abibola, for sharing your knowledge with us. And I believe each and every one of us here have actually learned one or few things from us, from you actually. Sorry for that. Thank you, ma. And we will be closing. So the closing remark will be by Mr. Adamu. Thank you, Dr. Abibola, for sharing with us. We'll keep in touch with you, ma. Thank you. Mr.
yeah.
Adamu, may you come in, please?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I just want to contribute little before the closing remark. In fact, she have said everything all. Just like they say, also a Chinese saying that said, "Do you have a problem? If yes, go ahead and solve it. If no, then why do you worry? Because the problem is not you didn't initiate it. It's a natural problem, and it will solve itself naturally. That's number one. Number two again is you keep kingship, king tight. You pay visit to your people. That reduce mental stress too. You don't keep a problem to yourself. The general saying during my teenage years that if you have a problem, if you keep it to yourself, one, if you keep it to your brain, it give you headache. If you keep it to your tongue, it make you a talkative. Then you share a problem with people. That is problem sharing with people is the problem solved. So these are the things I want to share with you. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us today for this important webinar on navigating mental health challenges in everyday life. Your presence and participation have made this event meaningful and impactful one. As we come to the end of this section, I want to take a moment to reflect on some key points that have been discussed today. We have learned about importance of mental health and well-being and various strategies that coping mechanisms that can help us to manage stress, anxiety, and other mental health challenges in our daily life. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Abimbola Adegbo, for sharing insight and expertise with us. Your presentation has been enlightening and inspiring and have provided us with valuable information and tools to improve our mental health and well-being. I also like to thank our moderator, Safau Nasiru, for guiding us through today's discussion and ensuring that the webinar runs smoothly. Your professionalism and expertise have been instrumental in making this event a successful one. To all our attendees, I encourage you to take what has been learned today and apply it to our daily life. Remember, mental is just as important as physical health. It is essential to prioritize self-care and self-help when needed. I also like to thank our sponsors and partners for their support in making this webinar possible. Your comments to this mental health awareness and advocacy is truly commendable. In closing, I want to reiterate that Sustainable Africa is committed to supporting mental health initiatives and promoting well-being in our communities. We will continue to work towards creating a world where mental health is recognized, respected, and supported. Thank you once again for joining us today. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of those struggling with mental health challenges. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself and each other day. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Adam. I think we've come to the end of this webinar. So thank you everyone for attending. And there's a questionnaire that we send on the chat box that will help us, understand, what uh, should be our next step towards mental health. Thank you for attending.